the situations that's going on, don't be scared to mention it or say something to Erlene, some of the staff, or things that's going on around here, because again, domestic violence is serious, it's alive, it's here today with the trans community as well as all other communities.
What kind of businesses are
So with the domestic violence and since so many people are here, I mean, what should we do and who should we call specifically to as a point of contact for someone who is familiar with the trans community and stuff that we would be more comfortable with and actually voicing, you know, our circumstances as far as domestic violence.
With that, HIPS has a hotline, and it's a 1-800 number. We can give you the HIPS hotline number. We have cards as well. People are there to answer 24/7. They will answer any questions, any dilemma. You can talk, you can express yourself, you can keep confidentiality, as well as you can make your presence known, and they can give you the steps in taking the next steps to pressing charges or what you can do. We have Jessica Hawkins here. You want to Sure. Sergeant Hawkins, I'm sorry. Close friend of mine, personal friend. Jessica Hawkins to me, but Sergeant Hawkins to everyone else. Sergeant Hawkins is part of the Metropolitan Police Department, the Gay and Lesbian Unit. So I want to welcome Sergeant Hawkins here.
How you doing? From the LGBT unit. Jessica is just fine. I'm transgender female myself. I'm not in uniform because I'm on medical stuff, so I'm not going to be out of the office. Long story short, I'm still here because it's my community. And I know we have different struggles. I'm still transgender. I still understand a lot of the same struggles. As far as who do you call, Sharice, I mean, definitely, HIPS is a great resource. Because chances are, once you call them, if they feel that it's something that we need to be involved in, they're going to probably ask you to reach out to us as well. But I'm going to give you, I got some information, I got some magnets, some pins, keychains, whatever, some business cards if anybody wants our direct contact information for the LGBT liaison unit. Especially when we're talking about safety on the street, like on the stroll. I'm not here to lock anybody up for a slip or anything like that. I'm just more concerned about keeping HIPS safe, keeping the girls safe. I understand they're on the stroll. I don't condone it, but I'm not going to condemn it. It's one of those things. It doesn't have to cost you your life, and that's what I want to prevent. All right, so you might just reach out to me, especially if you want to talk to me later.
Ms. Jackson? No, thank you.
Okay. Well, I didn't think you would, but I'll definitely reach out to our Wendy folks. I'll just make an anonymous thing. Anyways, I'm here. My officers, or my partner, Gary Thompson, he's part of the LGBT liaison yet, so we're just here to show support and be available for questions.
And be mindful that Officer Thompson is not just an officer. He is an ally and friend. He's here sometimes 2 or 3 times through the week, just coming through to make sure folks are okay. So, and even not in this setting, funerals, he finds his way. So, Officer Thompson, thank you so very much for all that you do.
I'm going to jump around a few topics. So the first topic I'm going to take is police encounters. And I think it's very important, especially in the climate of today's society and what we're dealing with as a whole. How do we begin to have honest conversations, inviting conversations, and conversations to bring both sides? Sometimes it's important to hear the story on the other side from the officers and from the community. And then we can talk about how we come together and heal. So I'm going to open up the floor.
First of all, you know what? It always kind of bothers me that we judge people as a whole by one or the two. You understand? We make our discrimination or our feelings about a group of people based on maybe one person's ignorance. One of the things I think we don't do a lot of in this city is acknowledging that I can see that people that don't know anything about our community, that move to our community, and they jump on the bandwagon that they have to jump on when they're in their communities from other parts of this country, and say the same about this city. Yes, we do have some ignorance in the workforce, in any workforce, because there's no such thing as a perfect workforce. But I can't reiterate again, we can call on the police when we need them. And I know that the code, the street code and all of that, but I also understand that when you really need somebody, you can't call Superman or Batman. You have to call the law enforcement. So that's the reality of life. So the dialogue does need to have, we do need to have a dialogue on how do we navigate that, how we get together, because there are some concerns. There are some officers who are a little overly aggressive. There are some officers who really probably, now that Trump is the president and this new attitude and climate is out there about civil rights, that feel like they can now veer their heads again. So before we get to the problem, we should not wait for a crisis to happen. We need to get together and commence on a dialogue, as you stated. And maybe what we need to have, we used to have this all the time in this budget, you remember. The police chief would have an open forum, and members of our community would get there and we would have this conversation. That has not happened in a while, and I advocate for that. Time.
So that's one thing that we need to have more. Maybe we need to do them quarterly or annually.
Yeah.
And I think that is where we would begin to talk about and begin to heal and talk about issues surrounding LGBT issues and police encounters. And if we had it more throughout the year, just not when an incident occurs, then we're doing problems. We're helping find the solutions. Any other topics?
When you're talking about local party, you're talking about the town hall, or like.
Or maybe if we're doing it like something like this, where we're doing it quarterly, where we're addressing it in different organizations and different centers and coming together at places, at HIPS, at the DC Center, at various mandates, and bringing in other entities and holding them accountable and saying we need to do this annually, coming and collectively inviting everyone to the table. Even they could be small town halls, which is the beginning, and then maybe climax with one ending of a big town hall. You had a question?
I'm really surprised that when I look at these boards up here, I see a lot of youth girls that have passed and a lot of, well, there's really no older girls that's prostituting today, just to be honest with you. So I'm really surprised that I see more youth girls at the card table here when they're playing spades and at this forum right here. When it's really for a lot of, I mean, things happen to older girls too, but the young girls are more vulnerable out there because they're street workers, they got these implants and all these new sex things to make them look like sex sirens now. So they can't wait to beat the street at nighttime on the weekend. And I'm surprised when I come here a lot now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I see a lot of youth, and it's sad to me that one youth girl can't bring another youth girl, or a youth girl can't get two more youth girls to come to a meeting like this. But they can say the same, and more of this play spades in the daytime here, as I see, than at this meeting like this right here. And actually, a lot of these young youth girls are subjected to violence these days up here. And a lot of them probably don't even know about this meeting right here, or just staying up there. So next time I challenge the next girl, young girl, to bring one of their girlfriends or three of their girlfriends to come. I'm quite sure y'all can get many more to come.
So one of the things that I really enjoyed was at Transgender Health Empowerment. I think it was like a weekly basis. We had what was like the officers came out from the gay liaison unit, and they would have like an intimate conversation with the girls, allowing them to have their space and say what they wanted to say, you know, bring up any concerns or issues they had. And I think that happens, and what I think it is today is a lot of agencies don't buy into that. A lot of agencies have a barrier when it comes to MPD, period. And I think we've got to get beyond that and figure out how do we get back to bringing law enforcement in so it's not seen as law enforcement, but as a partner. And so sometimes what I'm saying again is agencies cause that problem. Because the girls are willing to probably have those little intimate conversations, but when you got an agency saying, I don't want them in here, and that those uniforms and all that, That's an issue. That's an issue. And what we're doing is blocking out what we really could have is an intimate conversation. So we have to figure out how maybe to make that work. And I know some people have been traumatized, because we hear that often. That's why we don't want them here. They've been traumatized. So don't have the blue here. But that's not all. That's not everywhere. And I asked some girls, they said, oh, if they came once a week, girl, I wouldn't mind sitting in like a little support group. I had no issues with that.
And I respond to that. First of all, that's a contradiction. Because not what you said, but the reality is those same agencies that we talking about, when they have a problem, they call those men and women. So they are present. Their presence is pronounced, regardless of whether they want to address the situation. What I want to speak to is this. We talk about having these dialogues and these conversations. We, agencies, have a responsibility, I believe, HIPS and other agencies, to make sure it is a mandatory thing that young people engage in these type of forms. Because if you open your door and you're providing all the other services and an avenue for them to relax and go around the corner and get high and come back and relax. If you are providing those type of services, then you should also say, while we are providing that service, we want you here at this event if you're going to continue to be a client.
Huh?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't do
When
that.
listen to what I'm saying to this. I'm not saying you're going to let them go, but that is part of your growth. See, we give people free passes to do what they want to do. If we're supposed to be in the process of trying to encourage empowerment, then we should give some responsibility back to the person that we're trying to help empower themselves. Giving people excuses to do what they want to do and just a place to come and get a refill is not the answer. What I'm saying is that we need to say, this is an event that you need to be at.
Reclaiming.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
Point well taken.
Point well taken. Beautiful.
I also, I want to hear from this young man, and then I also would like to hear situations that was the police see, that we don't normally hear about.
Amen.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right.
When it comes to the police, it's two sides. I've had good encounters with cops. I've had bad encounters with cops. The reality of it is that's life. We're never going to be on one accord and kumbaya. That's the reality. Why I say that is because we're human. And in human nature, we do human things. Cops' presence, I agree, makes people more comfortable and you adjust more. But at the same time, like she said, if 50% don't want cops in their presence, whether it be anywhere, at the Boys and Girls Club, here, at block parties on the street, and you have another 50% that want that 50% that don't want the presence of cops, and 50% that do want the presence of cops. My thing is, you can't please everyone. My suggestion is they be present like now. But the reality of it is, they're doing a job. They're doing a very, very dangerous job. So, and I'm saying all that to say that it doesn't bother me that cops does not, well, I'm not a transgender, so let me I know transgenders, and okay, let me just say this real fast. I know one particular transgender young lady that I actually knew for a very long time, and I remember when she was transforming. That's probably when I met you, when you had that place.
Transition.
Behind, yes, the mill. I asked her, and I said,
Time.
oh,
Reclaiming my time. I'd like to, your points are very well taken. It's a hard road to travel. Some people feel they should be here, some people feel they don't belong. But look what happens when in that instance, like Charlotte. And they would have been present, we would have had what we had there. So at the end of the day, I'd rather see the public to avoid anything popping off. But let me hear from the public.
Can I say something? Being a trans woman, a lot of us trans women don't relate to that word trans. So when you say women, that's when we stand up. But when you say trans women, sometimes in our minds, we know that's a man dressed as a woman. So we don't relate to that. That's not me. So I feel that I don't need to come to these programs because I'm not a trans woman. I am a woman. So if I don't relate to that word trans, that's why you don't see a lot of girls here. It's because a lot of girls just don't accept that word trans. It means we're not a real woman.
So that's why they're here in the morning.
In our minds, we are real women. We walk, we talk, we dress, we think, we sleep, we act, we even have the same situations, violence, discrimination, housing. It keeps going on and on. But at the end of the day, in our minds, we think that we believe. And I, in my head, believe that I am a woman. So when they say trans, I don't relate. Thank you.
Let me hear from the police. And let me open up because we're going to wrap this up.
Can I just say one thing? Just one thing, and I'm so sorry. I do not want to take time. I want to say that being here on a daily basis, I think us older girls need to set the example for the younger girls. Because it's not the younger girls that come here and go around the corner and sit and get high. It's our older women that are influencing each other more than pulling the younger girls in. The younger girls, I know a lot of them that are trying to uplift themselves and come from under the I walk on K Street or I, have to be a sex worker to live. A lot of younger girls are being educated and they're coming up. So I really don't think it's a lot of the younger girls that are out getting high around the corner. Sorry. Thank you.
We're going to have to go over to the office.
Hello, I'm Officer Thompson with the LGBT unit.
We'll get back to that.
Some of
Okay, give them respect, please.
some of the officers some may not be that experienced in dealing with females, transgender females, and we try to educate them. We do educate them right out of the academy, and we talk to them on the street. When you're dealing with someone that's a transgender woman, you refer to her as a woman, use the proper pronouns when you're talking to a woman. And some of them, it takes time. When I first started working in the unit, it took time for me. And so I developed a relationship by just showing my presence, just coming here, going to the areas where I know that people hang, people congregate, so you'll get comfortable seeing the face. So Ms. Bird called and said that she has an issue with someone. They don't call the police and come down here. And then I'll come and talk to the person and build a report. If a report needs to be taken for a crime, we'll take a report and investigate it. And that's how we try to build relationships with people in the LGBT community. Anybody have any questions?
We appreciate that. For the sake of time, I'm a stickler when it comes to this. We have to go on and we have to move. If we have time, we can come back and revisit that. And I appreciate it, but we've got to move. We're going into our next topic. I'm going to turn it over to my co-facilitator.
Hello. Okay, so we're going to shuffle this around. I got it. And we're going to talk about discrimination in housing. That is a very crazy topic because right now I am doing like a little focus group / research on housing and the proper ways of getting housing and things like that. So I do a lot of community stuff. I have I'm a member of a group called Girls United, which is a trans group of all trans women. So we had a little topic about housing and sex work and things like that. And one of the topics was the sex work. And, it was a question that was asked, how can trans women always go back to sex work and things like that when they're surviving and living in hotels? But sex work is actually a form of survival. A lot of girls do sex work when they're in transition because it's part of the transition. Like sex work you deal with indoors and you're not subjected to be in society and things like that. So, I wrote a little something and I talked to the ladies about it. and it was about me coming home. So I expressed the question. So let me read this to you. I so love you ladies, and where I come from, old school rules, realness was everything. Never public about anything, but how cunt you are. Like the saying goes, live like cunt. But I'm in a position where I was frozen in time, incarceration, and I viewed life revolving as I sat behind four walls. Now I'm home and in my mind trying to catch up. Sex work is the oldest game in history, and for trans was our coming out. Street walking, your transition, your test in the waters, day walkers, your realness and everything passable. But long story short, I'm home and I'm thirsty. No, I'm dehydrated. Turning up and down for my collar, and I want mine back, and I get it back through sex work, fast money, and it was a safe space for me, tricking to be me. For me to stay in my home and not be judged in society, I am still institutionalized, afraid of the streets, but I have to eat. Today I'm 3 years home, 2 jobs, apartment, truck, balling. Too much love and hip hop in my mind. But what you see is not my truth. This morning I had a $50 head date. I went to work, got a call an hour later and left work for a $200 date that I felt wrong. $200 to pay my bills, back to work, second job, meeting boring, and I wrote to you. I want out of this but can't. No matter how hard I try, they're not helping me, feeding me, clothing me. They're not